Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hi, Rob. How are you? Another week.
It's another week and it's another book report.
How long has it been, Rob, since we've seen each other?
2 weeks. 2 weeks on our book report and 1 week on our weekly dose.
Since we've
and
met.
My hair has grown another inch.
Me too. Oh, Jesus! Actually, I was meant to shave mine. You're seeing me at my most. You're seeing me at my most slovenly. To be honest with you, I do feel lucky to have the shaved head.
Can you hear this, Chris?
Oh, oh, you're crack. You're opening a can of a bottle of IPA.
It was a fine red grape juice.
No.
Fine red grape juice.
Nice. Can you hear this here, Rob? Can you hear this here?
Yeah, everybody can hear that one.
Good. That's wine from a mug, but nice wine. Nice wine. White wine. Again?
I got wine from an Italian drinking glass.
You're so classy.
It's a throwback to the 90s.
You're so classy. I'm wearing a neckerchief if that helps.
So, Chris, do you have a book for us this week?
I do have a book. It's not a new book, but it's one of my favorite books. It's by hold it up. It's Mama Love or Haha Love, depending on what the crack is, and it's by Hideka Tonomura from Japan. Okay.
Wow!
And it's
exotic.
Yeah, it's pretty exotic. Is the word I would use for it, Rob. It was sent to me after some conversations with a Hideka on Facebook, I think it was, or Instagram. Facebook, I think, quite a few years ago, and we were just chatting about the world of photography and shooting the shit, I suppose. And I was fascinated by her work. Of course, I didn't let her know this beforehand or afterhand.
And what's her name again? Hideka?
Hideka, H-I-D.
Hideka.
Hideka, yeah. No, I could be, every week I say the same thing. My pronunciation's shit. But it's Tonomura. Watashi wa Chris-san. I won't go down.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't want to go down. I don't want to overstep the mark with that whole thing. But anyway, let me tell you about it. So we'll put on a couple of links. One of them will be Photo Book Store, which is currently out of stock, such as the popularity of the book.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Good for her.
Yeah, well, we know in Photo Book Store we can go in and hit the video, and we'll have somebody else turning the pages. There's a nice 100-word blurb with the whole thing. But for me, the piece I like the best about it is Mirrored Society, which is it's free shipping on all US orders. What's that tell you? So there's Harry, my dog, coming in. You probably hear trip trapping his wee nails hitting off the up. He's getting old. Going under the bed, Harry. It's mergesociety.com, and it specialises in photo books and zines. But they have a really nice piece. You can hear Harry snorting in the background there, such as his happiness in life. Harry, come on, behave yourself. Okay, so it's an interview, and it's not just around Haha Love and Mama Love, but it kind of takes you through her work. Not up to date. It's probably 2000 December 2019, so it probably is quite up to date. But anyway,
wow.
Yeah, it takes you through, and it's Feelings of Despair and Madness, an interview with Hideka. So the book is in two parts. It's beautiful black and white photographs that are. I'll just hold it up so you can see the crack. It's really nice. There's a really nice feel to the crimson cover, a bit like your shirt, Rob, actually. And it's photographs. Oh, well, I'll read you this. This will maybe give you a better sense, because I'm so used to it that I kind of it's lost its sting with me. But whenever I got it, it was it say shocking? I'm pretty open to stuff, but it was definitely left the field for sure. But anyway, so this I'm going to read you who's doing this. This is by Julian Lucas. Okay, it's an interview with Hideka by Julian Lucas, and he asks some of the most pertinent questions, some quite hard questions about the book. But anyway, here's one of the questions. Intimacy is a fundamental element of our lives. What are your feelings when you began the series Mama Love? Did your series begin as a project or just a random idea? How was this body of work accepted among your peers? Okay, so that seems like a pretty easy in. So her answer was, and this will give you an insight into what's in the book. When something happens that triggers your instincts as a photographer, don't you want to capture that? My mother's affair was an act of sudden revenge because she was suffering from my father's violence for a long time and also had stage 4 stomach cancer. She wanted to retrieve her own self as a woman. I was there to witness the affair, so I became her accomplice. But what I found was the love between me and my mother in the photographs. For the first time in my life, after looking closely at the photographs, I realised I am loved by my mother. The photographs bear a witness to that moment that I accepted my mother as a female and as a female as a mother. So effectively, what I can gather from
That's pretty heavy.
yeah, it's pretty heavy, Rob. But what you get is photographs. The dad, by all accounts, from what I can gather, this is 2008, so it's 12 years old, and it's still really on the mark. Her dad was abusive to her with regards to language and mental torture, that sort of stuff. So it's the mum having an affair with a guy, and Hideka is photographing the affair. And I don't mean, photographing a room. She's standing on the bed while the lover is on top of the mum. So
Wow.
yeah, so you have Hideka's feet in the frame, and you have.
I've seen this book before.
Yeah,
I remember this.
yeah. So you have these shots where the guys, is the guy's completely. We never see the guy. We see him, but we don't actually see any
Identifying.
Well, there's identifying as in there's bits and pieces, of course. I say bits and pieces in a very before the watershed type way. But black and white photographs, and it's essentially her mum getting revenge on her dad with stage 4 stomach cancer. It doesn't get much heavier, does it?
No, I don't think so.
No. So this interview there's a series of about 12 questions, and then we have images from the book. The book is half colour, half black and white. The second half of the book is the mum, kind of opens up with the mum counting money from a debt where the money was to be paid back. So you're the whole thing is just racked with tension. The tension is from the get-go. But if you think on it, Hideka was born in 1979. This was done in 2008. So it's a fascinating book. Left the field for sure for some. I would show it in some of my classes, and the more prudish amongst us are really taken aback by the whole thing. I think
Is it black and white? All black and white?
half black and white, half colour. So the first images of the love making and it's her mum, naked-ish, but the photographs are, well, if I was to say to someone who hadn't seen the book, and it really is, and it's shot in film, it really is, I don't know, it's just magic. The lighting's magic, the framing's magic, everything's magic. I don't know. I don't know. I should have asked at the time if her mum was still with us. Stage 4, probably, maybe not. But anyway, I'll find out. In fact, this is another one of my send an email whenever we're locked down, because people will definitely reply. So I must send some tonight. We were chatting the other day on Instagram and ask what the crack is. So go in, have a look at Photo Book Store, Mama Love by Hideka Tonomura, and then go into Merge Society. And have a gander at the interview. It gives you, because if you look at anything online about her, it gives you the same description about the book, about 100 words, and it doesn't really give you any sense about what really is going on. The Merge Society is such a great interview. Really gives you a good feeling. So there you go. How's that? Was that heavy enough for you?
It's pretty heavy, dude.
Sorry, bud.
Nothing like photographing your mom's affair.
No, nothing like it.
Including lovemaking.
And it is beautiful. It is so beautifully shot. So Anybody that looks at it, there's not one image that isn't striking through composition or light or whatever. It just pulls you in. There you go.
Wow.
I enjoyed that.
Well, my book is pedestrian by
Oh,
that account.
very nice.
My book is Jeanloup Sieff.
Good old Jeanloup. Or JL, as I call him.
Jeanloup.
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 Jeanloup Sieff.
You are so multilingual.
So this is, I'll tell you how many freaking pages this is. This is 286 pages.
That's showing off, Rob, isn't it? That's showing
Dude,
off.
this is a book. This is a book. And I've never been to a photographer's house who didn't have this. Hold on one second. There's some dust on the lens.
On the lens?
There's never been a photographer's library that I know that this hasn't been in. It is beautiful black and whites, French photographer, beautiful black and whites, almost all graphical, very graphic. And just beautiful, beautiful photographs. And he goes by decade.
Oh, nice.
So he starts in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
Paris?
Paris, France, little bit in New York,
Showing off.
some other stuff.
200 pages.
There's a lot of beautiful nudes.
Oh,
You know, French, of course, there's some nudes. There's beautiful portraits.
unbelievable.
It's a beautiful book, and I think every photographer should have it in their library. I mean, it's very pedestrian. They're great classic photographs, but it's nothing that's groundbreaking. But it will inspire you.
No, well,
Definitely inspire you.
This is what I was going to say to you. These are the things that, you know, whenever the joy for me of Instagram is that I go in and I am inspired by seeing people's work. You know,
Yeah.
I always have. But Instagram in bed, you know what I mean? Small screen, you know,
No, this is.
Yeah.
I mean, these pages are 12 by 15 inches. You know, and there's some that are 90% of the page. There's some that are like 50% of the page.
Yeah.
You know, I glanced through this again this afternoon, and you know, as soon as I closed the book, I told Olivia, I said, "You got to get nude. You got to stand in front of the cherry tree that's in blossom right now." And she's like, "What?"
Rob.
And I go, "You gotta."
Yeah.
I mean, after looking at this book, we looked at it together too, which is
And the answer is, did she?
not yet.
Unbelievable. Women these days.
But they're
Rob.
just beautiful, and they're all film, and they're all printed in a dark room because you can see the dodging and burning on it.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's just like if you look at this woman's face on the right-hand page here, like her face is so white, and the soldier's face is gray. Oh, and there's a classic one. I don't know if I can find it offhand here, but there's one of a model inside a car, and the chauffeur is standing outside of the car, and the model's face, there it is. It's Twiggy, isn't it Twiggy?
Oh. Twiggy.
So you can see here, the model has been dodged so much on the right-hand side there, and her face is nice and white, and the chauffeur's face is, you know, like a shade darker than mid-tone gray, and he's on the outside.
It's as the way it should be, Rob.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I actually still have the silly slip cover price tag on it too.
Where'd you buy it, Rob? Online?
I think I bought this one. I know my sister bought me a book that was, if it wasn't this one, my sister bought me Latrig's Riviera,
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
which has a similar feel but isn't nearly as graphic.
You see, Rob, I'm going to say this out loud. You are kind of.
When I say graphic, I don't mean sex, or I mean
No.
like graphic. Graphical.
I do the graphic.
Yeah.
I do the graphic in this relationship.
So
Rob,
this book here, it's priced at $140 American, and it was on sale for $40 American.
Jeez, that's great. That's great.
So-
What's that? 28 quid, something like that. 29, 30.
Yeah, 40 years of photography, Jeanloup Sieff.
That's incredible, isn't
And
it?
you should have it. You should have it. I mean, it's got to be cheaper still. You can find it used, I'm sure.
I'm gonna go
We'll
on
put a
tonight.
link in the description.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna go on and buy it for like 50 pence and then really piss you off. By the way, Rob, I'm going to say to you about that photograph you were talking about on the cherry tree. I'm gonna.
oh, Olivia, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna offer myself up for that.
Oh, it's
Okay.
gonna be black and white though, Chris.
That's okay. You've seen how red I am. That really sits me down to the ground.
And
Desaturation.
I'll put a red filter on the lens.
Desaturation is my friend.
Oh my gosh, look at my fingers. I just realized
Oh no, Rob.
my fingers are red.
Not from an argument,
that.
I hope.
That's crazy.
What from? Beetroot.
Well, that's beets. Beets for dinner.
Well, you're saying that, but it could, that of course could be. Well, I've realised also that I'm not wearing my glasses. I feel absolutely naked without them.
I got my bubbles glasses on right now.
Do I have them? I have a neckerchief, which doesn't quite. Well, it's actually not a neckerchief. It's actually for. It's actually my going shopping.
This is a lot of weight, dude.
I've
This
lost
is a
it.
very heavy book. It's a very heavy book.
Do you think the way that whenever you're drinking whiskey, like a heavy glass, the way they put weight equals.
Dude.
Do you think
You know what? These pages are at least
360?
250 grams. Like it's beautifully printed, very heavy paper. Like you're constantly checking to see if there's two pages stuck together.
Who's the printer?
It is printed by. It's printed. Oh, there comes a dog. Jesus, I can't read it. Evergreen.
Do you think they took a hit in that book?
Taschen. Evergreen is an imprint of Benedict Taschen, Germany.
Yeah, okay, plenty of dosh. It wouldn't happen nowadays, would it?
This kind of book?
Yeah.
It's pretty beautiful, man. And there's probably a dozen pages or half a dozen pages for each decade describing what he was doing during that decade.
But you think of that, Rob. You think of that journey. How old is that book? Say it's 2004.
This book?
Yeah.
No
Older.
way. 1996.
Okay, so it's good age. Well, you think of that? That would have been the glory days, wouldn't it? Of
Of film,
yeah, well, but
of traditional film.
traditional film, big books.
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen now. That wouldn't happen now.
To find a book that is this thick, I mean, that is a good inch, slightly more than an inch thick.
Yeah. Well, you're into
And
Martin Parr and Jerry Badger's photo book. You know what I mean? Of recent times, that sort of size of book is kind of cataloguing. It's not really one piece of work.
yeah.
Jeez,
No, yeah, that would definitely be his life's work there.
Rob, we're getting good at this. We're getting good at this. If people don't subscribe, they're crazy. Maybe their hands don't work. Maybe they've no thumbs.
So these are our choices
Yeah.
for our book report for this week.
Yeah.
And if you agree with us, that's great. Make a comment. If
Yeah.
you don't agree with us, make a comment. Tell us why not.
Or don't.
And if you have any suggestions, please put them below in the
100%.
comments.
100%.
And we'll try to address them all.
I have a big photo book collection, and I have to say that it's hard for me to go through and find. I'm kind of doing it by just ignorance, really. Just going down and thinking. Well, I was speaking to Hideka very recently, but I also like this book because, excuse me, I've been up very, very up at 5 this morning, maybe more, 4:30 this morning with the wee one. But anyway, I think you're right, Rob. I think if people have something to say, it would be nice. It'd be also nice to see what people think of that. You know what I mean? Two very different types of book, which I think highlights our personalities, Rob. You know what I mean? Your book is grandiose and beautiful, and my book is, I don't know. No, maybe it doesn't reflect our personalities. I don't think down that road. People judge.
I mean, this has been an influence in my photography, like 100%. Just the the graphic design of each image, the simplicity of it. You know, the wide angle lens. He shoots 21 mil
Okay.
on a Leica.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to shoot 17 primarily, almost all the time, and now I'm shooting. I've gone back to 24 mil, but I'm kind of going back a little bit wider again yet.
You do nice wide shots. I was
I hope
noticing.
so.
Well, you do. I don't at all because I don't have the width. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's you know, it's being able to use that frame, whether it's negative space or positive space, and having something, the subject matter, you know, integrated properly within that width of a frame.
Yeah.
I mean, he does some fashion work in this book at 21 mil. That's just, you know, if you could get away with that stuff today, it would be amazing. It's
Well, that's
just beautiful.
Well, it's wide, isn't it?
21,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh yeah.
I know, because I was just thinking, they're actually in the fine art world, as in, you know, the fine art world, documentary photography. You know, you're I don't know, mainly sitting around 50. You know, lots of people I know don't shoot much wider than 50.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
No, I know it's a challenge. Well, it's a thing that moving outside of that stuff, not moving away from, but moving around into a different world of photography has taught me a lot. You know, because
I would much rather have a wider lens and be closer in on the subject and include more of the environment than to be on a longer lens.
Yeah.
You know, focused in on the subject and blurring out backgrounds and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a place and a purpose for that sort of photography.
Yeah.
But I mean, I prefer, especially when I do environmental portraits.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to have the environment around them in the shot, and that 17 millimeters, you know, lends itself to taking in that full environment.
What's in your Mamiya? What's in that? What's sitting on
my Mamiya here?
Yeah. 80?
On my Mamiya is a 50 mil, 50 mil floating element.
Yeah, okay.
And that pretty much stays on the Mamiya all the time.
But this is what I mean about the you know, people who shoot film and documentary, that, you know, there generally is a lens that just,
you know. And then I have on my other Sony body, I have the 12 to 24.
Thank you, let me that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a gorgeous lens.
You've lent
but
me everything.
I'm thinking of getting rid of it.
No. We see that hard drive you're sent. Maybe you want to just post, because it would save your packaging if you just put both those things together.
Yeah.
But Rob, I want to say this we're at 25 minutes. Okay, I want to say this out loud to everyone who's listening. I don't have your ND filters. I want to put it out there so the whole nation know.
It's just the one, Chris. It's just the one that you have.
Oh, no. I wish I had. You know what? If I knew which one it was.
You know what? It's inside your Shackleton coat.
I would buy. Don't. Shackleton been in touch.
Oh, we'll have to hold that over for another podcast.
Let's hold that over. Let's hold that over. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking news about Shackleton. They've succumbed.
Oh man, you wore them down.
Literally. Well, what I started to do was I started to make a Shackleton coat myself.
Oh, and then they got you for copyright infringement?
No. They just thought it was they thought it was such a good idea. But they said you shouldn't use IKEA bags. It doesn't look right.
The blue ones, the non-rip ones.
Yeah. If you don't mess with me. And I didn't use goose down on it. It was vegan.
Good.
Just leaves in the forest.
So my book this week was Jeanloup Sieff's Decades.
Very nice. Well, I'm going to say mine is Mama Love by Hideka Tonomura. Who's a very interesting person. You should go look at her work. It's all very,
I will look her up.
Yeah.
I will look her up.
Definitely. Yeah, it's just, well, look at, yeah, just look at it. Just look at it.
Well, thanks again, Chris. I'll see you in 2 weeks for another book report.
Jesus, Rob, it won't be 2 weeks. We'll be partying for 2 weeks. We'll be in the Cathedral Quarter. You know, we'll be in I'm telling you what's going to happen. We'll be in the cathedral quarter. You and I won't say we'll be holding hands. We probably will hold hands because we haven't seen each other in ages. We'll be walking to the John Hewitt. You and I in 2 weeks. We'll probably do it from the John Hewitt. How's that sound?
All right, Chris.
Okay, darling.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I actually nearly hung up there, Rob. That's how pro I am. I always worry this isn't recording this. Just check this. Oh,